Some champions aren't born from privilege. They're forged in silence, in the forgotten corners of the world. This is the story of Marion. It started by accident. One rainy evening, the buses were gone, the gates were closing, and instinct took over. She ran, not for fun, not for exercise, but out of pure desperation. When she finally stopped, lungs burning, shoes soaked, she realized something strange. She wasn't tired. In fact, she felt alive. That night, she knew she'd found something special, a feeling she had to chase. But the world wasn't ready for her. At school, when she mentioned she liked running, the PE teacher handed her a clipboard to count laps for other students. She tried running on her own, but her second-hand sneakers split wide open. She finished barefoot, blood and grit sticking to her skin. Her mom saw her torn feet and sighed, "Honey, we can't afford hobbies." She made the junior athletics list anyway, a small victory that felt huge. But the victory was short-lived. She couldn't afford the registration fee, the uniform, or the transport to weekend meets. While other parents advocated for their kids, no one was there to argue for her. So, when no one was looking, she erased her own name from the list. Life got harder. An eviction notice, 2 moves in 1 month, and a longer walk to school that left her too tired to focus. Her grades slipped. Teachers noticed the bad grades, but not the tired girl behind them. Then, her mother fell ill. Not life-threatening, but enough to miss work, enough for bills to pile up. Running became her escape, her secret. She'd train in alleys and empty lots, her frayed laces barely holding her shoes together. She'd stay late at school, watching other athletes head off to fancy training facilities she could only dream of. One evening, as the final door to her dream seemed to close, the gym being locked for after-hours access, she stood with her forehead against the cold glass, defeated. That's when a voice cut through the silence. "You run." It wasn't a question. It was Mrs. Finch, the school janitor. Marion just shrugged. "I used to." The next week, Mrs. Finch led her to an old, dusty storage room. She had cleared a space. It wasn't a fancy gym, but it was a start. And Mrs. Finch didn't just unlock a door. She stayed. She'd bring water, a sandwich, and sweep quietly in the corner, a silent guardian to a lonely dream. One evening, she handed Marion a showbox. Inside was a pair of used, but solid running shoes. "I had a daughter once," she said softly. She ran too. From that day on, Mrs. Finch was her coach, her cheerleader, her family. When Marion's legs shook with exhaustion, Mrs. Finch would just smile through the window. When she lost a race, Mrs. Finch reminded her of the girl who once ran barefoot and bleeding. When no one else showed up to watch, Mrs. Finch was always there. Years later, August 18th, 2036, a stadium erupts. An Olympic gold medal shines. History records the name, Marion Biles. As the cameras flash and the anthem plays, Marion's eyes scan the crowd, searching for one face. She finds her, pushing past security. She climbs into the stands. The roar of the stadium fades away as she kneels before the quiet woman who had swept floors and opened doors. Marion takes the gold medal from around her neck and places it into Mrs. Finch's weathered hands. "This belongs to you," she whispers. "You gave me a place to dream when I had nowhere else to go." Champions aren't just built in state-of-the-art gyms. They're built by people who see potential in empty rooms and rough beginnings. They're built by those who give when they have little and believe when others doubt. The medal will one day tarnish, and the records will be broken. But the door that was open, the one that said, "You belong here, you can do this," that door stays open forever. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires.